Obviously you can still crash, you can still low side, you can still lose the front, you can still roll off the side of the tyre, you can still crash. The rules of physics still apply. I can't believe Ducati actually allowed us to do it.
You are now watching Chad 76 Media.
So as you can probably tell, it's no longer raining and I'm no longer in Italy, I'm actually in Spain on another presentation. But I wanted to give you a special rundown of what we did on the Ducati wet test. So it's a test that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, because when we go ride superbikes, they've got over 200 horsepower, they've got a plethora of riding aids of slide control, traction control, wheelie control, launch control, quick shifters, engine brake strategies, cornering ABS, all these systems. And we can test them to a certain level, but when you're a normal person, you know, I've raced at a decent level, to power slide a Panigale on slicks when it's 25 degrees, track is perfect, tyres are perfect, bike is perfect, the all-in suspension is working perfectly. To get a bike to actually smoke a rear tyre and actually slide in third and fourth gear is, well, I'm not a world superbike rider. So when it rains, obviously the grip is less and you can slide and have a little bit of fun and play around a little bit. So that was the idea. So what I wanted to do was ride the Ducati Panigale, which is new for 2025, with the rider aids active, obviously, but in terrible conditions, but with race wets. So we got the opportunity to do it. I can't believe Ducati actually allowed us to do it. The first thing that's interesting is the wet mode is I'm riding my Panigale in the hills in northern Italy. It starts raining, I'm on supercourses and I need to get home. It's cold, it's wet, it's slippery. So the rider aids are really, really high and the power drops to like 160 brake. So when you ride with race wets, because you've got grip and you're on a track and you can develop and create heat, you're actually more like a track day mode. So we actually had power on B, which is full power, just limited torque in the first few gears. And again, we had ABS on 3 out of 6 or 7. So we kind of set the bike up for a similar setup to riding on track on road or track day rubber without slicks. Without tyre warmers. So what was fascinating was, A, we can push the bike quite hard because we've got full power, and B, we had full data. So once I've ridden the bike, we can see what is actually happening with the data. So it took some doing because you have to build up a bit, but you have to hit the pace pretty hard because you have to keep the heat in the wets. That's the key. If you lose heat in the wets, you lose grip, and you go slower, and then you go slower, and then you go slower, and then you lose more grip, and then you go slower again. And I've done that before and eventually ended up crashing. So you have to go quite hard from the off, and then you have to kind of trust the electronics. But what it showed was, when I was in areas of the track on 100% throttle, so the throttle trace is like a purple line that is like completely flat, like a bar chart, then the actual request that I'm asking for is almost the same, about 100%. But the actual torque going to the back wheel is a lot less, sometimes 10 to 15 newton meters less, because it's just not giving me the torque that I'm requesting, because if it did, it would continue to spin. We can see on the data that the back wheel is spinning, which obviously means, you know, the wet is struggling for grip. So the system is going, right, you're asking for 100% throttle, you're asking for 100% torque, but I'm only going to give you, for example, 85%. And this is changing in 0.00 something of a second, constantly changing. So as I go through the gears into 4th and 5th and the wheel spin reduces, then it gives me that 100% torque. But in the lower gears, it doesn't. So there was an area on track over the start finish which is really slippery, second gear, 30 degrees of lean, 10,500 RPM in second, and I'm at 100% throttle. So 100% throttle in third gear, in the second gear, with some decent lean. And again, it's not giving me the torque that I'm requesting because it would just high side. It knows that you've got 30 degrees of lean, it can monitor what the wheels are doing, it's got a predictive system, so it knows that you cannot do this. Otherwise you'd crash, because we've tried it in testing. We've written algorithms and calculations to prove that it's not possible. So this is the amount of torque you're actually going to get, not the torque that you're requesting. So also we did the ABS. Now the ABS was on 3, so if you look at my Ducati video in the dry, it has the combined braking. So when you do the front, it does the back, and if you're in the race, I think it's A mode, the back does the front, and once you let go of the front, it still does the back. But we had it in ABS 3, so basically the front is doing the back. And again, I'm requesting, for argument's sake, 9 or 10 bars of brake pressure. It's giving me about 8, or it's giving me less brake pressure than I'm requesting, but it's also applying about 3 to 4 bar of back pressure, even though I'm not actually touching the rear brake pedal. So my foot stays absolutely static. We can see this on the data. So the amount of pressure on pedal is 0, but the actual bar of pressure on the rear brake is 3.7, nearly 4 bar of pressure, which it's doing itself, to the point it starts to almost lock the rear, and the ABS has to kick in. So the system is applying the rear brake and controlling it with ABS. Now that is a real clever system. But once you see the data and you get used to it, you start to trust it, and you can go to 100% throttle in 3rd, 4th, 5th, whichever gear you want, with lean, and almost use the throttle like a switch. And I know that's completely idiotic and stupid, but we wanted to do it to prove that the system worked. So on the data traces, you can see instead of progressively accelerating on the throttle, it's almost a straight line, and I'm on 100% throttle, clicking through the gears and just letting the system look after it. Really, really interesting test. Glad I still did it. Obviously you can still crash, you can still low side, you can still lose the front, you can still roll off the side of the tyre, you can still crash. The rules of physics still apply. So you have to concentrate, but being able to just jump on the brakes and apply as much brake pressure as you want and roll into the corner, to use the throttle aggressively, means I don't have to concentrate. I don't have to think about that. I can think about the line, I can think about choosing a different line that maybe has better grip, I can think about what I'm doing, think about gear changes and gear patterns and turning points, apex points, accelerate points. It takes all that bit away. And at the end of the day, when it's like 3, 4 o'clock and you're on a track day and you're a bit tired and you make a mistake and you can crash, those rider aids are there working in the background to help you, to keep you safe, to keep you secure. And even though the rain was biblical, I actually enjoyed it, because you had that kind of feeling of having an instructor on your back, or this safety net of keeping you safe. As long as you knew you couldn't really crash in a straight line if you was accelerating or braking, in theory, you just had to be careful on the turning in and the apexes and the lean. So even at one stage we deliberately rode over a curb, so it's a little bit like Foggy S's at Donington, where you can take a bit of curb on the exit, and so deliberately hit the curb in the wet, which is a stupid thing to do. And again, you see a massive spike in the torque request. So I'm 100% throttle, hit the curb, and the actual torque going to the back wheel plummets to virtually nothing. Everything takes over, and then as soon as you're over the curb, it all kicks back in again. And this is like 0.00 nothing of a second. There was one stage where I got a decent slide. I think he had 3 degrees of yaw on the slide, and it saved the slide in 0.06 or 0.03 of a second. I still closed the throttle thinking I'd saved the slide, but I hadn't saved the slide. It was actually the slide saved by the system. Really, really interesting. So hope you enjoyed the test. Stuff like this I really, really enjoy doing. I get a little bit anal, and I like looking at data, and I like seeing what the bike is doing. But if I can give you any advice to riding one of these latest superbikes in the wet, turn all the rider aids up to maximum and then come down a little bit. So feel the rider aids working and then come down again. It's a bit like, if you're not too sure if you've boiled a kettle, so you like gently touch the kettle and oh yeah, that's hot. It's a bit like that. So next time you're out on a bike and you think, wow, the conditions are really bad, go to maximum and gently touch it and then go, oh yeah, there's the rider aids working, I'll come back a bit. Can I still feel the rider aids working? Yeah, okay, I'll come back a bit. Can I still feel the rider aids working? No, I can't. Okay, I'll go back to there. There's my net, there's the safety bit. There's me touching the kettle to see if it's hot. I hope that makes sense. See you on the next one.